I've wanted to tell this story for a long time, but I wasn't sure where to begin because it didn't start the way most people think. This channel, it isn't about having it all figured out. It's about what happens when you don't and decide to go anyway. Hi, I'm Rhonda, and this is Midlife Rondavous. At 53, I sold everything I owned and bought a one-way ticket to Costa Rica. Now, at 62, I've lived on 4 continents, pet sat in 8 countries, and worked remotely the entire way as a freelance book designer. But here's what no one really knows. I didn't expect this journey to last. I thought I'd be gone for a few months, just enough time for a reset, a pause from everything I had built that no longer fit. I had a loose plan to travel through Central and South America, volunteer with women entrepreneurs, and maybe write a book about their stories. That was it. That was enough. Years earlier, I was designing a book for a woman who had spent a year volunteering around the world. And as I laid out her words and photos, something deep inside me stirred. Her story planted a question I couldn't shake. Could I do something like that too? Not forever, not even for a year, just long enough to breathe and remember who I was before life got so full. But every time I tried to plan it, I got in my own way. I thought I had to have every dollar, every flight, every detail figured out. And the money, it never seemed to be enough. At a mastermind I belonged to, I finally shared this dream that I had carried for 8 years. It still felt close and impossible. Then my friend asked a question that changed everything. What if you just bought a one-way ticket and figured it out from there? No plan, no safety net, just go. And in that moment, everything cracked open. Something deep inside me finally said, yes. It didn't feel reckless. It felt right. Within 2 weeks, I booked a one-way ticket. No round trip, no backup plan, just a quiet knowing that it was time. My first stop was a yoga ashram in the jungle of Nicaragua, my very first volunteer gig. It wasn't glamorous. There was little to no Wi-Fi, no certainty, and no clear next step. But there was presence. There was purpose. There was something in me that finally exhaled. That wasn't just the start of a journey. It was the start of becoming someone new. Before I left, I had to make one of the hardest decisions of my life. Not what to pack, but what and who I had to leave behind. My dog Jax, he wasn't just a pet. He was part of my everyday life. Letting him stay behind with friends I trusted was one of the hardest parts of leaving. But even harder than that, leaving my grown children and my young grandchildren. Walking away, it didn't mean abandoning them. It meant choosing to live fully so that one day they'd see a woman who followed her heart, even when it was hard to do so. I carried a lot of emotion with me: grief, guilt, and hope. But I also carried a quiet strength I didn't know I had. My marriage of 21 years had been quietly unraveling for years. There was love, but not a shared vision for the future. We did our best to hold on, but ultimately we chose honesty over habit. We ended things with kindness, and we're still friends to this day. Letting go of that chapter was very painful, but it made room for everything else that followed. What started as a 3-month trip became something much bigger. 6 months in, I wasn't ready to stop, because for the first time in years, I felt alive. And since then, I've explored more than 20 countries, made it work on a lean, simple budget, found joy in the ordinary and magic in the unknown. I've chosen passport stamps and experiences over possessions and predictability. I've learned what it means to be resilient, to be resourceful, to be free. People didn't always understand. Some judged, some cheered, but I knew I was on the right path. So why now? Why tell this story after almost a decade on the road? Because I know there is a woman out there who feels like I once did. Stuck, overwhelmed, wondering if she missed her chance. This channel is for her. For the woman craving change but scared to make the leap. For the one planning her escape in spreadsheets but ignoring the whisper that says, start. Here you'll find behind the scenes of solo nomad life, lessons from the road, practical and personal, reflections on money, freedom, aging, and starting over, and honest, unfiltered stories of what midlife invention really looks like. If you've been waiting for permission, this is it. If there's a dream you've tucked away for someday, what if now is the time? If this resonated with you, go ahead and like this video and subscribe if you want to walk this journey with me, because you're not too old. You're not too late. And you don't have to do this alone. This is Midlife Rendezvous, and your next chapter starts here.